Okay, here we go. So, someone put up a post about some student loan debt, right? Most of us who have gone to college, we all have student loan debt, right? And I just have a little something to say about that. About college, right? Have you thought about how we educated ourselves once upon a time before these colleges existed? Do you think, quite possibly, there could be another way to educate yourself and still get the paper work that you go to college and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt to get? I remember one time when I was in school, someone said, I was in massage school, and they said that basically all I had to do was learn all the information and go take a test, a national or state test, and I could have gotten that same certificate that I went to school and spent $13,000 to get. So, going into debt to pay for an education, it's really not all it's cracked up to be. The colleges, they're set up to teach and train, but the bankers set things up so that you'll always be in debt. But here's the kicker. This is just like me thinking, right? It's like my little thought journal. You go and you get in debt, and then they sell off your debt. These people sell off your debt, and they make money off your debt, off selling your debt. Well, these people who are selling your debt are still in debt because they don't have their money. So they're in debt, right? Or wrong? I don't know. What do you think? And then the question becomes, because debt is slavery, right? When you owe someone, you are now working for them. You're working to pay back your debt for no other reason but to pay back a debt, right? And then they're in debt. The person that you are indebted to is also in debt to someone, somewhere. So who are we in debt to actually for real? Who are we actually a slave to? You're actually a slave to yourself and not knowing your rights. The Bible says our people perish for the lack of knowledge. So it's not the banks necessarily that causes you to perish. It's the lack of knowledge. If you knew how you could obtain the same education without going into that kind of debt, could you do that? You could! So think about that. Oftentimes we get pressure from our parents. Go to college, go to some fancy institution, and this is how you're supposed to do it. And if you don't do it this way, then it's not the same. And if you go to junior college, it's bad. And if you take a vocational course, it's bad. But why is it so bad? And what is that our parents don't know? If they knew another way that you can get an education that was good, would they promote that? Who's telling our parents that educating yourself the way education used to go is wrong? What happened to when children learn from their parents what they're going to be when they grow up, or someone in the community teaches them how to do the things that they want to do, like a trade? What happened to those days? Why do we have to go in debt? So just think about other ways that you can educate yourself to get that same piece of paper. It may not come from these big name colleges, but you have the credential. You know you can do the work. and you have confidence in yourself, the only person that you can be a slave to is you. And the only way you can be a slave is if you agree to slavery. So, you can just decide to be free and then do that. You can pay back all these debts. That's great. But find out what your rights are and find out how you can free yourself of this unnecessary debt. Learn budgeting and use it so that you're not living outside of your means of existence. Make sure that you're purchasing what you can afford. And if there's something that seems like it's a little steep, save the money for it rather than going in debt. Why do you have to go in debt? You don't. It's all a part of the plan for everybody to make you think that you have to have these credit cards and you got to get this and you got to do that and you have to have debt. Why? Because this is how they make their money. Buying and selling currency. Buying and selling your debt. They trade all kinds of things attached to your social security number. Anyway, that's just what I was thinking. Whether you agree with it or not, that's okay. And whether it's true or not, what's true for you is true for you, and what's true for me is true for me. If it makes sense, then it's true. If it works, it's true, because the definition of truth is the thing that works right now in present time. If it doesn't work, it must not be true. That's basic mathematics. Much love. Sister Rashida Yasmina Miriam. Visit me on Facebook. I'm out.